My name is Hassan Baygan. I'm sending this from Uppsala in Sweden. Today is 3rd of December, Thursday, 3rd of December 2020. I talk about my book and philosophy before, and this time I still want to talk about philosophy, but I'm going to start it with the basic, essential question. The question is, do you think if any other creature in the world than human being thinking about where we come from and about the existence? The animal who walk in the ground like elephant, lion, horses, dogs, anything, or those who fly like birds, or those who are in the sea, or a small one like coronavirus which comes recently these days. Anyone? Do you think they are thinking about our planet, with our universe, and where it comes from? And based on that, starting making law? My answer is so clear. No, in this time, no. However, some people say this word, in this word, many times it comes to people and animals and they're gone. Just like people say dinosaurs are gone or some other animals are gone. Jurassic Park, that film was quite interesting. Small piece of that dinosaur remains somewhere. We can make it again dinosaur. And now our knowledge, it comes to such a point also, can make such things. Anyway, I think we people, at this time, from thousands of years ago, which we know, maybe about 10,000 or something like that, not much, we started thinking about where we come from and what is this and what happened in the world. And that made, even that was big things to make us different from other animals. At the beginning, it was very simple. But comes to religions, very advanced religions. That's what I have respect for all these kind of religions and philosophy and thinking, because we not passing this period, we could never come and reach this point. No, it's not just like that coming. As they said, just word comes like this. God said, be, and that happened. The same thing it comes in Quran. I have to explain that. There's many nice things it comes. It comes in Quran and kun fayakun. It means God said, be, and that happened. But that's the funny things with many Iranian, and they say, when they say the wars happen, kun fayakun, it means destroyed. No. Anyway, so people are starting thinking, and they come to many simple, and then develop it. Sometimes they say this is a God, this one, this God. Not that kind of thinking God as now the religious people say. If you think about even Old Testament, one of the books for, it comes some is religion and the other Christianity and this. But Christianity is quite different from that one. It's not like that. That is another one I can explain. And Islam comes from that also. But Judaism affected Christianity because of Old Testament. Because always they print Old Testament with New Testament, and there's a foolishness. I explain it, and I wrote that. It was very foolishness. because they had no connection to each other. But because they published together, that mind comes to Christianity also because of creation or something like that. God created people like that. But before, they had many God, different things. Even the Jews, they carried statues like that as a God. And when Babylon defeated them and they take their statues and this small thing as a God, they used to put it under clothes and carry with themselves. So they lost everything. They think I lost everything. But when the Quraysh, Cyrus, king of Iran, they came and defeated Babylon, the Bab El people, Bab El people, and they become free and gave them their God. They become very happy. When they come to Yahweh, that's the important thing. It was when they came back from Egyptian. Up to that time, they had a lot of gods, and Yahuwah was not. No. And when they come, and Moses say this one Palestine, and according to Old Testament, God said to Moses, "You see this place, but do you never go inside?" And he died, and Yusha come after him, and Yusha decided, now we have Yahuwah as a God. And why there that place? Because Yahuwah or Yahya, or according to Mindai, Yahi, according to this Mindai, Yahi. Think for Netanyahu name. If you choose just like Yahoo instead of you, it's right, Natanyahi, Yahi. That is Mindai's God. That's Yahya. So they take it from Canaanite people who live there. Canaanite or Mindai, they have different name. I think I explain a little bit of that, but I explain anytime I say part of that, who they are and these things. Mindai or Sabi'in or Ma'mudiya or Baptist, the different name for them. It depends on. Anyway, when they come there and they get Mindai's God as their own God, and they become united. According to this Old Testament, according to this, you shall say to them, if somebody says another God than Yusha, Yahuwah, I kill him. And with that, Yusha could arrange, organize them, united them. Before that, no. But even that that God, it was not like this God. It discussed with the people, discussed with that, this other. Sometimes he made a mistake, and people said, no, you're wrong. God was wrong. And they made him correct, especially in Musa's time. He used to, they say Kalimullah. It means he used to talk to the God, but many times God was wrong, and he said, no, please, you are wrong, this, and that. What kind of God? And even for Zarathustra, actually, yes, no, the part of Avesta. Oh, and this is Vandida, the law in Avesta for Zarathustra. My books about Zarathustra in that side. There are a lot of books. So, in this book for Zarathustra, it was actually two gods. One Ahura Mazda he created, and another God destroyed. So at least two gods. And if you look at Platon book for Greece people, it was a lot of God. God for wind, God for wine, God for love, God for music, each and every one. And of course, Zeus was a little bit higher, but he had not that much like a god, but was chief of the god, something like that. And they used to marry with the ordinary people. It was not only that God comes with Mariam. No, this is story taken from them. You know that east part of Mediterranean Sea, from now it's called Greece, coming to the Turkey and coming to Syrian and Palestine, Lebanon, up to Egyptian. It was Greece people who lived there. The war at Troy, it's in Turkey now. And Zeus comes to Lebanon and he take Europa, Agamemnon comes and take a woman from there. Europa was a woman name. She lived there and they taken it there. So it was so obvious they were thinking God, something like them themselves. Same body as a people. But when we come farther and farther and farther, and they develop, so God must be everywhere, because God created everything. How it can be everywhere? Now comes that question for this new God. You know that to reject that old God, that kind of God, simple for all these religious people. And they love on that. Oh, their God, they like this, God like that. And the statue was God. This book, Al-Asnam, this is the first book after Islam is written about these statues. Asnam means, Sanam means statue or something like that. But even beautiful, I can say, people can say. Their gods. Even that three big gods which it name comes in the Quran. So Lat, Manat, Uzza, they were just a stone, piece of a stone. So it was usual between the Arabs. I take some stone as God, like we say Hajar al-Aswad, the black stone in Kaaba, as the Jews carried. Don't forget, Jews were Arab, and Arab was not race. Arab means people who lives in desert. And the life of these Jews, when you read this Old Testament, the life of Arab. Just when they pass that river, they call them Ebre. Ebre comes from Aber, Ma'bar, Ubur. These are all the same word. Infinitive is abar, means passing. But aber is a person who pass. Ma'bar means a place of going. So where in Arabic can comes to 100, and sometimes 60, 50, 30, many. So now coming to this time. Well, wait, before that, about this Christianity, when I talk about this book and Genesis, and I said this Jesus and the birth of Jesus, what they got is related to, connected to that Greek, because there were a lot of Greek that area, full with Greek and Greek ideology. At the same time, these Mendai people, they came to that point at that we all are God. As I told you, when they got stopped at about Okay, if God is like us, it's not possible to be some other places. So God must be everywhere. So when God is everywhere, it means it must be inside me. If it's not inside me and inside you, so there is somewhere which God is not there. So independent, impossible. And if it is inside me and you, it must be inside every cell. Otherwise, that cell is independent. Going to the cell again, like that. So that comes that idea as we are God also. But how to become God in mind also? Because to say like that, I am God is less like that. But in reality, in spirituality, when I am God like that, so it has a step. 200 years after Jesus, 200 years after Jesus, that called Plato or Neo Plato, he wrote this book. He talked about this book, how we become God. But he never wrote anything. His student Porphyrius wrote these two books. Sorry, sometimes I mix it. Skriv is Swedish word. Many words. Swedish come in me. However, I'm not that good in Swedish. So Plotinus talk about how to become God. I usually, when I read books, I mention and I write by the side of that book, like here, here, because when I want to write something, so I have to find it from where. So that mind of we are God, and it become Gnosis, and then becomes Sufis, Irfan. That started from Jesus' time, from Mindai. And that is why that Mindai thinking, and that comes from Jesus' side, has no relation with the Judaism. No. But Judaism, then they start their own Sufist thinking and Irfan and this thing, Kabbalism and this thing, after that. Because they were different people. So that comes to this point that we can be God. And at the same time, that question also comes for the people about how we created and which period. Because when they were thinking about the time of 7 days creation, 6 days, and one day got tired and sleeping. Oh, God got tired. God needs sleeping. God is not complete. First they make something and then, no, it's not complete. No, I have to do something else and something else. So that makes a lot of problem for them. That is not complete God. So God must be complete. Then they came to that point and said at the beginning it was Word, and the Word was God, and God was Word. Yes, that means the Word is God said, and that is what in come in Quran. So directly, kun fayakun. God say, be, and that happen. So no needed to think like that and timing and something wrong, something like that. But even that is not good. That is not complete. Because to say be and happen, when I said that, it may be one tenth of second, 100th of second, even if 1 per million of second, 1 per milliard of second, that is time also. So this kind of problem in explanation of saying there is a God and this thing. Yes, there is, and they don't want people think. It's not only in Islam they stop thinking about philosophy. This started in Europa. Think about Dante allegory. I wrote an article about that also. I have this book and I read the book. Dante, with that book, Comedy, he stopped the philosophy in Europa. In Muslim world, they say Imam Muhammad Ghazali, there was an Iranian. He stopped this thinking about philosophy and stopped the philosophy. However, they tried to explain the thing, argumenting like a philosopher, but it's not philosophy, as I told you before. When they have something that up as a God, and all explanation must come to this one, so this is not philosophy. I said it must be like Socrates. I said, I don't know. We discuss where we come. When we have a destination, we must go to there. So we never give a right and correct explanation. We never discuss correctly. No, that's all false. So based for that idea of what is God and who is God, and then they made some books and they say it's from God. If you look at the Old Testament, most of this one is a history of them, this one, that one. And even when they talk about the creation, as I told you, it is from that area. This is a Gilgamesh. If I have it, this is a translation. Gilgamesh, the two Iranian translated Gilgamesh with two different, and I have it. You can see that one. This is from Babylon, the creation. Yeah. The creation comes from Gilgamesh, that area. And when comes some nice story, something, and people of that area, they like it, all of them, they take it for their own and talk about that, and this is the ours. A good example about some funny man, we say Mullah Nasreddin in Iran. And he was a funny person and very critical on this thing. But the whole area, in Turkey, they have the same story but other name. In Arab land, they say Joha, his book also, Joha. So even from the joke at this thing, when the people, they like it, they take it for themselves. And maybe match that with little bit their own culture and even climate, even their nature. The same thing. Look at this one, for example. This is a Rig Veda Mahabharat. Mahabharata. This is one of the oldest book written in. It's called now North India. And the kind of this race, they say it's the same as Iranian. And Mahab means big Bharat, some kind of big India. Now Bharat is a part of this one, India. No? And a lot of this story comes here. Or for example, in Iran, we have very, very old mythology and the kind of history and mythology. If I show you that book, that side, whole explanation about that book. It's called Shahnameh, Letter of King, letter. So some Iranian poet about 1,000 years ago, he collect all this mythology and wrote it in one book, all history he heard and this one. And in this book and that mythology, There is a man name is Rustam. It's like Hercules. But Hercules is connected to the god, but he was not like that. He was just ordinary person. Some people say he was a king also. He was very strong, fighter man, everything. But according even to that book, he's from kind of sort of now called Afghanistan and Pakistan, that area. But it's a story for Iranian also. Only Iranian. However, south of Iran, the Pars people, Persian Pars, the part of it, they had the biggest empire. They were different from Part people. Pars finish with S, but they finish with T. They are in Khorasan, means Afghanistan and east of Iran and that area. But anyway, same people, little bit same language and this thing, and they have same mythology, same king, same history. Now, however, I tried to say short when it become 26 seconds, 26 minutes. I'm trying to finish it now, and we will see next what I'm coming to talk about. There is a lot of things to explain, because when people are started from the wrong base, so it comes wrong. There is a proverb in Iran: when you start at the base of the house like this, all the house goes like this, not right up. And they made law according to these books. And still they say these books say that, we have to do this, to have to cover faces, because only one verse in Quran talk about that. And now they made it so big. Actually, there is another thing, but they give no shit to the other one. But why some of these verses become so important? Because they want to use the people, the religious people, top religious, they use the people with some of them. If you read, for example, this Old Testament or New Testament, there is a lot of things wrong in there, but they ignore it and never look at that. For example, when the Jesus twice said, all the no, like this, there is only Jews are human and the rest are not human. They're dogs and must eat the rest of the food from the Jews. That is the base for racism. But whole the church, they hide it. And that's why I said they cheat the people. They lie. If I say no, they never knew it, it means they're foolish. They sit and read this book 1,000 times, but they don't see it, so they're blind, they're foolish, they're mad, they're crazy. But no, they see it, they ignore it, because they have money, economy behind that. They cheat the people. But in my philosophy, which I published it only in 4 pages here, and in all other my books, I published all my philosophy in all other my books, and explain part of my philosophy in this. So I don't want money. I don't want no one pay me some money, because I have that philosophy, because usually I'm a prophet, I'm a even a simple mullah or simple monk or simple priest, they sit and they want money from the people for church and everything, for Knesset. But no, and no one after me who follow my philosophy has right to ask for money from people, because they give a philosophy, explain my philosophy on this thing. No, we're human, we're all same. I had that opportunity and chances to get this information, to read and read and read. I had time to read. One of the opportunity I got, because when I came to Sweden, I came as a politician. and as a refugees. But because of my background, the Swedish government and intelligence service, they never allowed me to work. I was not allowed to work in Sweden. However, I had high education. But at last they say I have to work as a sweeper. I said, no, I don't work as a sweeper. Even you in Sweden pay 2 million crown for my education in university. Everyone can do sweeping. But sweeper cannot do the job. I do that. Anyway, so I never wanted money. I don't want money. But because they never gave me opportunity to work, so they were thinking such a people go on for drinking or so. No. I found the time to continue my reading. That's what I say. I had opportunity. So they gave me very, very little money in Sweden. I lived with very, very little money, tens of years. But I start reading and reading and reading and reading. Usually these people are, or what to do, they start drinking and many things and become rough. But they made a mistake about me. They never knew it how a real philosopher. So, because of that, this opportunity, I don't want my follower start something like a church, like a mosque or something, take money from the people. Never, never, never. Thank you for watching.